Imagine lying on the open ground in prehistoric Africa, surrounded by darkness and unfamiliar sounds. There is no house, no locked door, no electric light, and no safe bedroom. Above you, the night sky is black, while a small fire burns beside your group. The flames are getting lower, and everyone around the camp is trying to fall asleep. Then, somewhere beyond the firelight, a dry branch suddenly breaks beneath something heavy. You quickly open your eyes, but the darkness hides everything outside the small circle of light. A second sound comes from the tall grass, moving slowly around the sleeping camp. It may be a harmless animal or a hungry predator searching for an easy meal. You want to stay awake, but your body is exhausted after walking and searching for food. Soon, your eyes must close, even though danger may be waiting only a few steps away. When you fall asleep, you become slower, weaker, and less aware of everything around you. So how did ancient humans sleep for hours without becoming dinner for a hungry predator? The answer was not one clever trick, but an entire system built for survival. Ancient humans needed sleep for the same basic reasons that modern humans still need it today. Their bodies needed time to recover after long days of walking, hunting, carrying, and climbing. Their brains needed rest to process memories, dangers, locations, and important lessons from the day. Children needed sleep to grow, while hunters needed energy to survive the following morning. Without enough rest, people reacted more slowly and made dangerous mistakes in the wild. But sleeping created a serious problem because it temporarily removed many human survival advantages. During sleep, the eyes close, the muscles relax, and awareness of the environment becomes weaker. For several hours, a clever human becomes a warm body lying almost helpless on the ground. To a hungry predator, that sleeping human may look like a very easy meal. Babies, injured adults, older people, and isolated individuals would have been especially vulnerable at night. Humans could not simply stop sleeping because the body would eventually force them to rest. Their challenge was not avoiding sleep, but finding ways to make sleep less dangerous. During daylight, humans could see danger, communicate clearly, carry weapons, and plan their movements together. At night, many of these important advantages became weaker or completely disappeared. Ancient humans shared their environments with lions, leopards, hyenas, wolves, bears, snakes, and crocodiles. The exact predators changed between regions, climates, and different periods of human history. Many predators could see much better than humans under the weak light of the night. Other animals could hear small movements or follow the smell of blood, meat, and human bodies. A large cat did not need to attack an entire group of strong adults. It only needed to find one person sleeping too far away from everyone else. A crocodile could wait near the water until a tired human came down to drink. A snake could enter a warm sleeping place without making any clear sound. Darkness turned visible dangers into hidden dangers, giving many predators a powerful advantage. And human beings are not very good at fighting an enemy they cannot see. A leopard could move silently, while a hyena carried powerful jaws strong enough to crush bones. Bears had enormous strength, and snakes could disappear completely beneath leaves, grass, or loose stones. Humans had no large claws, thick skin, sharp fangs, or natural armor protecting their bodies. They were not fast enough to escape every predator during a sudden attack. Their night vision was also too weak to clearly see beyond the light of a fire. A single human sleeping alone would have been an extremely easy target for many animals. Humans had large brains and skilled hands, but sleeping still turned them into helpless bodies. Fortunately, ancient humans possessed something more useful than claws: speed or powerful jaws. They had other humans who could warn, protect, teach, and fight beside them. Their greatest advantage was not individual strength, but the ability to cooperate as a group. A safer night began before sunset, when the group still had enough light to inspect the area. They needed time to choose a campsite, collect firewood, prepare food, and examine nearby dangers. Sleeping directly beside a river offered water, but it could also bring people close to crocodiles. Rivers also attracted thirsty animals, creating busy paths that predators could use during the night. Sleeping near a dead animal was dangerous because the smell could attract scavengers and large hunters. Thick bushes blocked cold wind, but they also gave predators an excellent place to hide. A low area might flood during heavy rain, while an exposed hill could become painfully cold. Ancient humans had to balance shelter, visibility, water, fuel, weather, and animal activity. They probably preferred locations with open views and fewer signs of dangerous animals nearby. Tracks, bones, droppings, smells, and broken plants could reveal which animals had recently passed. Older members could remember dangerous areas and warn others about previous attacks or sudden floods. Sometimes survival depended less on strength and more on listening to someone with greater experience. After choosing a campsite, the group itself became the most important layer of protection. One sleeping person has only 2 ears, but a group has many ears listening together. One person can be surprised from behind, while a group can face several directions. Ancient humans probably slept close enough to hear each other move, shout, or suddenly wake. Children could remain near parents, caregivers, or trusted adults inside the sleeping area. Injured and older people could also stay closer to the more protected center of the group. We cannot know whether every ancient camp used the same sleeping arrangement or protective circle. What mattered was that one approaching predator was not facing only one sleeping human. It was approaching an entire group capable of shouting, throwing stones, and lifting weapons. Predators usually want food without receiving injuries that could stop them from hunting later. A group of angry humans was far more dangerous than one silent body on the ground. Sleeping together turned many individually vulnerable people into one difficult and risky target. Not everyone in an ancient camp would have fallen asleep at exactly the same moment. One exhausted hunter might sleep early, while another person stayed awake beside the fire. A parent might wake during the night to care for a hungry or frightened child. An older person might sleep lightly and notice changes in the fire or nearby sounds. Younger people could stay awake later, talking quietly or watching sparks rise into the darkness. Later, those people might sleep while someone else briefly opened their eyes and listened. The group may not have needed one official guard standing awake for the entire night. Different ages, duties, sleep patterns, and levels of tiredness naturally created overlapping periods of wakefulness. Studies of modern hunter-gatherer communities show how someone can be awake during most of the night. This does not prove that every prehistoric community followed exactly the same sleeping pattern. But it shows how a mixed group can create natural protection without exhausting one permanent guard. A person only needed to wake briefly, listen carefully, check the fire, and look around. With hyenas laughing outside the camp, perfect uninterrupted sleep was probably not realistic. Controlled fire became one of the most important changes in the history of human survival. Before fire, darkness removed much of the world that humans could clearly see. With fire, people created a small circle of light inside a much larger world of darkness. Flames helped them see nearby faces, tools, food, bedding, and approaching movement. Fire also provided warmth during cold nights and helped dry damp materials around the camp. Smoke could discourage some insects, while light and heat made many predators more cautious. A moving flame was unfamiliar, unpredictable, and dangerous to animals approaching the sleeping group. Fire also allowed humans to stay active for longer periods after the sun disappeared. People could repair tools, prepare food, care for children, and communicate beside the flames. They could share information about dangerous places and plan where the group would travel next. The campfire became a social center, a source of warmth, and a defensive warning. Humans were no longer completely surrendering the world whenever darkness arrived. They were pushing the night away, although only for a few meters around the fire. It is easy to imagine fire making every ancient camp completely safe from predators. Unfortunately, a small fire was never an invisible wall that every animal refused to cross. Flames needed fuel, meaning people had to gather enough wood before darkness arrived. Rain could weaken the fire, while wet wood created smoke without producing enough heat. Strong wind could spread dangerous sparks or make the flames burn through the fuel quickly. If everyone slept deeply, the fire could slowly shrink until only weak embers remained. Some very hungry or curious predators could still approach the edge of the light. Bright flames could also make it difficult for humans to see deep into the surrounding darkness. The predator could see the humans, while the humans saw only 2 eyes for 1 second. Ancient people therefore needed fire, group protection, good locations, weapons, and careful listening together. Someone waking during the night could add more wood and examine the area around the camp. Fire improved human survival, but it could never remove every danger from prehistoric life. Many people imagine every ancient human family sleeping safely inside a warm and comfortable cave. Caves could protect people from rain, strong wind, cold weather, and several directions of attack. Stone walls also provided shelter without requiring humans to build an entire structure. But a cave could create serious problems that were not immediately visible from outside. Smoke might collect inside, making breathing difficult and filling the shelter with painful fumes. Deep caves could be cold, damp, dark, and difficult to escape during an emergency. Falling rocks could injure people, while a narrow entrance could become a dangerous trap. Most importantly, the cave might already belong to a bear, hyena, or large cat. Finding a cave did not always mean finding an empty and safe prehistoric home. Sometimes it meant walking directly into the bedroom of a powerful predator. Humans had to examine tracks, bones, smells, droppings, and scratch marks before entering. Some groups used caves, while others slept beneath rock shelters or in open camps. Ancient humans lived across many environments and did not spend their entire lives inside caves. Sometimes a cave offered excellent protection, and sometimes the safest choice was leaving immediately. Ancient humans could change the chosen area before placing their bodies down for the night. They could remove sharp stones, dangerous branches, thorns, and other uncomfortable objects from the ground. Grass, leaves, and soft plant material could create a warmer and more comfortable sleeping surface. Fireplaces could be positioned where their heat and light reached the people resting nearby. Firewood, tools, stones, and useful weapons could remain close enough for a quick response. Food waste could be moved away instead of being left directly beside sleeping bodies. Sleeping beside bones covered in animal fat would have been a terrible plan near hungry scavengers. Archaeological evidence shows that humans prepared grass bedding tens of thousands of years ago. At some sites, bedding was placed over ash, possibly reducing ticks and other crawling pests. These areas may also have been used for working, resting, teaching, and other daily activities. Ancient sleeping places were not always random pieces of ground chosen without any preparation. People understood comfort, warmth, cleanliness, and practical ways to reduce environmental danger. Large predators are frightening, but many nighttime dangers were much smaller than lions or hyenas. Mosquitoes could spread disease, while ticks and fleas fed on humans during their sleep. Ants could enter bedding, and spiders or scorpions could hide beneath stones and branches. Snakes could quietly enter warm shelters without warning anyone inside the sleeping group. Cold ground could lower body temperature, especially during wet, windy, or freezing nights. Too much smoke from a badly positioned fire could also damage eyes and make breathing difficult. Grass bedding helped separate sleeping bodies from cold, wet, rough, or insect-covered ground. Ash and smoke may have discouraged some pests, although both created problems when poorly managed. Animal skins, plants, shelters, and sleeping close together could help conserve body heat. In cold climates, losing heat could be more dangerous than meeting a large predator. In tropical regions, insects, snakes, rain, and disease may have created greater risks. There was no single sleeping method because humans survived in many different environments. Each group had to adapt its sleeping system to the climate and dangers around it. When a growl woke the camp, there was no time to search far away for a weapon. Ancient humans likely kept useful defensive objects close to the place where they slept. These could include wooden spears, stone tools, heavy branches, rocks, or burning pieces of wood. A weapon did not always need to kill a predator to stop an attack. It only needed to make the predator believe that attacking was too dangerous. One person could shout while another threw a heavy stone toward the darkness. Someone else could lift a burning branch as several adults stood together with spears. Children and vulnerable people could quickly move behind the adults preparing to defend the camp. Within seconds, a quiet sleeping group could become a loud wall of fire and weapons. Many predators depend on surprise and confusion when attacking a weak or isolated victim. Once the entire group woke, the predator's easy opportunity suddenly became a serious risk. The animal expecting one helpless body now faced many angry humans acting together. Humans could throw objects, coordinate their movements, remember attacks, and prepare for future danger. A cautious predator could learn that approaching a human camp was not worth the possible injury. Modern people often imagine healthy sleep as one perfect and unbroken period lasting 8 hours. Ancient sleep was probably more flexible, interrupted, and strongly connected to the surrounding environment. Temperature, weather, hunger, children, animal sounds, and fire maintenance could change the entire night. People may not have fallen asleep immediately after the sun disappeared below the horizon. They could remain awake beside the fire, talking, working, eating, or caring for children. During the night, they may have woken briefly to listen, or place more wood on the fire. Short awakenings were not necessarily a failure to sleep or a serious problem. From a survival perspective, waking briefly could help the group notice an approaching danger. Different sleep times meant the entire community did not become completely unaware at once. The group could receive enough rest while still maintaining some awareness of the surrounding darkness. Ancient humans needed deep sleep, but they also needed flexibility to survive unpredictable conditions. Now imagine all these separate layers of protection working together during one prehistoric night. The group chooses an open location with fewer tracks and fewer signs of dangerous animals. They prepare the ground, arrange bedding, collect fuel, and remove attractive food waste. Children and vulnerable people remain close to trusted adults inside the sleeping area. A controlled fire creates warmth, light, smoke, and an unfamiliar warning for approaching predators. Weapons remain nearby, while different people fall asleep and wake at different times. One unusual sound wakes a light sleeper who quickly alerts everyone else in the camp. Within seconds, the whole group can stand, shout, throw stones, and point spears outward. No single layer of protection was strong enough to stop every possible danger. The fire could die, a person could sleep deeply, and an animal could approach silently. But several weak defenses working together created one much stronger system of protection. This ability to combine knowledge, tools, communication, and cooperation became a major human advantage. A lion had stronger claws, but it could not prepare 10 spears beside 10 sleeping partners. A leopard could move silently, but it could not build and control a circle of fire. A hyena had stronger jaws, but it could not explain a dangerous location to its children. Humans remained vulnerable, but they were slowly becoming much more difficult and costly to attack. And most predators prefer an easy meal over a dangerous fight with an organized group. So how did ancient humans sleep without being eaten by predators during the night? The honest answer is that sometimes ancient humans were attacked, injured, or killed. Prehistoric life was dangerous, and no sleeping system could prevent every attack or accident. But on most nights, groups survived because they never depended on only one solution. They chose sleeping locations carefully and stayed close enough to protect one another. They used fire when possible, prepared bedding, and kept useful tools within easy reach. Different people woke at different times and listened for movement beyond the firelight. When danger appeared, the group reacted together instead of leaving one person to fight alone. The greatest human survival advantage was never powerful claws, sharp teeth, or amazing speed. It was the ability to combine many small protections into one shared survival system. Today, you may sleep behind walls, beneath a roof, and beside a locked door. But the human feeling of nighttime safety began long before houses and cities existed. It began when frightened people gathered around a fire and refused to face darkness alone. Ancient humans never made the night completely safe from every hidden danger. Instead, they made themselves too organized, too alert, and too dangerous to attack.